there's an elephant in the room when I start to talk. People go, wow, there's something different. What is it? So I just say, well, I sound this way because I'm from Germany. People clap. It calls the elephant in the room right away. I'm making fun of myself right away. We set the foundation for any presentation to proceed with fun and ease. How many have watched the Dean Martin roast? You'll notice that most of the celebrities that get up poke fun at the other members of the panel, and they really poke fun at themselves. This is one of the things you want to keep in mind when you're thinking about preparing and delivering a roast. Poke fun at yourself. And I'm going to give you so much material and ideas to work with. You won't have any problem developing stuff, material to poke fun at yourself and, of course, the person that you're roasting. Now, my name is Linnaea Mallette, past the governor, distinguished Toastmaster, recently became a qualified speaker for the District 52 Speakers Bureau. As a matter of fact, I'm the incoming president of the Bureau. And I am very proud to be a roast. Very proud. I was in a club for about 15 years, the Adventures. That club had the tradition of roasting the outgoing president. And once I discovered the secret to preparing and delivering roast, I delivered a training like this every year so the club could be comfortable with and prepare a nice roast for the outgoing president and have it be enjoyable to prepare. Now be honest, how many of you have been in roast where you just kind of squirmed in your seat? It was uncomfortable. We're going to look at why that was and how we can prevent it from happening. Now, I have to be honest with you. Professional comedians will tell you this. All your stuff isn't always going to be funny. It just isn't. And you got to be comfortable with that. Some night, a comedian has an audience that rolls on the floor laughing. The next night, the same material with a different audience applauds. So one of the skills you learn also, being a roaster, or a roaster, is you learn to go with things that may not have hit the audience the way you want. There's so much in the audience roast. So let's get going. One of the things I want to do right off the bat is dispel the myth about roast. It's a myth that destroys roast and makes them that uncomfortable, squirmy experience that you've had in the past. We're going to, why do roast? Why people shy away from roast? Who shouldn't be roasted? There are some people that are better off left alone, left straw. How to prepare for a roast? Some cautions. There are cautions you want to take to prepare and delivering a roast. I'm going to share with you some very fun, unique approaches to roast. And then we're actually going to practice roasting. Arnold Schwarzenegger! I chose him because everybody knows who he is. He has such a vast set of experiences and skills. There's so much material to draw upon in roasting our governor that I couldn't resist the opportunity. The myth is this, that the roast has to be based on facts and truth about the individual that's being roasted. It has to be stuff that really happened. Absolutely not true. A fun and engaging, entertaining roast. You take a kernel of truth about the individual and you run it. You blow it up, you exaggerate it. You can even lie. A roast is kind of like a tall tale. But it does not have to be based. As a matter of fact, the way I learned to do roast was I was at an awards and installation day many moons ago. They were roasting the outgoing district governor, Dan Capone. And it was boring. I mean, it was just awful. Everybody that got up was sharing something they thought was funny that really happened with Dan Capozzi. And I'm like, darn, okay, something's got to change here. Now I know I need to get up because you want to roast somebody as an honor. It shows respect to get up and roast. I hardly knew the guy. I certainly didn't know enough to tell him anything to him. So I remembered a funny joke about an elevator. Now I knew Dan was shy. I knew the theme for his years that the governor would like to fire with him. And I knew he had met a girl recently and was really going to get married within the year. That's all I knew. And I had my elevator joke. The elevator joke had to do with a gentleman walking in, and there's this lady who's really hot for him. And she takes off her shirt and she throws it on the elevator floor where she stopped the button so it won't move anymore. And she says, "Make a woman out of me!" So the man takes off his shirt, throws it down on top of her and says, "Iron this." Now can you see how taking that joke and plugging in what little I knew about Dan, they roared. It was hysterical. And the rest of the afternoon was great fun. People got it. I've got this joke. I'm going to plug in Dan's name and it was just hysterical. They went over time because everybody wanted to get up and do that. So you see what I'm saying? You take a cradle of truth and you exaggerate it. So I wanted to share with you an example of this.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you very much. I'm very proud to be here this evening honoring my good friend Jimmy Stewart. I've been Jimmy's neighbor for, 15 years, and I know him as a shy, home-loving man. That's why I'm shocked that he's even here tonight. I've never seen him up this late. Every morning you can find Jimmy out in back of his house where he has his beautiful, wonderful, sensational vegetable garden. You know, he is so gentle he can't bear to hurt a thing. He doesn't even spray the destructive insects. I saw him on his hands and knees lecturing a snail.
Okay. I think it's a known fact. She did live next to Jimmy Stewart. But even if she didn't, it doesn't matter. It's a roast. It doesn't have to be true. Does Jimmy have a garden? Probably. Maybe he has a slight interest. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But there, what she's poking at is the kernel of truth that he's a very gentle spirit. And she found some funny material on the writing spirit and created a roast. And that's what you're going to learn to do today, and we're going to do it with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Great emphasizing information gathering and taking it and tweaking it. Joke or the storytelling to fit your material, whether you're doing a roast or regular talk. Jokes and storytelling make compelling engaging speeches, and you can learn that skill when you're doing roast. It's an honor for the roast team. You've got to be somebody respected, liked, or loved, and have a sense of humor to be roasted. If somebody says, "Can we roast you?" say yes, because it is a sincere, truly, it's a compliment to be a roastee. You get advanced manual credit. It's either the specialty speeches or the special occasion speeches. One of those advanced manuals has a 3-minute roast. So when I used to do this for the club, adventures, during the training, I handed out that specific assignment. So whether somebody was in that advanced manual or even done with their CC, they had that one speech done towards that specific advance. Why people shy away from those? Because people have this myth that has to be based on true stuff that's happening. Because people, and it could be embarrassing, you could hurt their feelings. It may not be funny. And then, you know, I don't know the roastie enough. I don't have enough information about the roastie. all of these are drawbacks if you're sticking with stuff that really happened and is really true. Really. Does stuff happen with an individual that warrants a good laugh from an audience? An example for me was my husband and I were at a Toastmasters outing, adventurers. When they started, went on an outing once a month. So we're out on one of these outings, and we're at this museum, and there was something behind the glass that was so intriguing. I just went, bonk, and hit my head on the glass. Now that's kind of fun. My husband comes along and does the same damn thing 5 minutes later. And then good. Now that was brought into a roast about me, and that's it. But generally you don't have that kind of material. So you just get those kernels of truth and exaggerate them. Who should be roasted and who shouldn't? Number one, who shouldn't roast? You know, in terms of you're having a roast, who in the audience shouldn't do a roast? Somebody who's terrified of public funds, but they want to participate? Have them do a boast. Really, when you roast somebody, it's a roast and boast. You say funny things about them, you poke fun at them, but then you wrap up with something pleasant. This is the only reason why Don Rickles is still alive. Because he is vicious. He's funny, but he's vicious. But he always ends with tremendous, heartfelt praise for the persons he just ripped to shreds. So if you're preparing a roast for your club and you have members that just can't get their thought around poking fun at somebody, let them stand up and give compliments. That's fine. Somebody that should not roast somebody is somebody that has serious emotional relationship conflicts with the person. This is not a roast. This is not the opportunity for somebody who hates the roasting to get up and tear them apart. You talk about having an event be uncomfortable, and I don't care how if it's you, how righteous you feel, and even if everybody in the else audience agrees with you, that person's a jerk and deserves it, you are the one that's not going to be liked. It is distasteful, bad taste, bad all the way around. You don't want to do that. The purpose of a roast is to honor the roasting by getting those kernels of truth, exaggerating them, and everybody has a good time. There are people who don't want to be roasted. I know several, well not several, but a handful of district governors in my 25 years that opted not to be roasted. And that's respected their desire. The roastie always has the opportunity to decline. Preparation for the roast. You gotta get those kernels of truth. You may know the person just by being in a Toastmaster club. The beauty of Toastmasters, and that's a corporate club, people get up and share their heart, their lives, who they are in their speech, right? But you may want to contact family members, get some juicy photographs the roastie would never want you to see, or interesting tidbits of information that nobody ever knew. Usually, the family members won't be vicious. They'll give stuff to you that they know the roastie will be able to handle. Friends, the joke books that I shared with you is a great place for material. Real life, on occasion, like my husband and I both slamming our heads in the ground. Nobody else did that. Just my husband and I. Photographs and media. When I say media, I mean video. Now, how many of you saw the video for the TLI? With everybody dancing and the snippets of recording. Okay, each one of those snippets was a couple-minute talk from Lance Miller and Linda Carter-Kumagayan. But you just take a snippet and fit it in wherever to have it fit the film. Imagine what you could do if you had videotapes of the speakers and just take a sentence or so of two and put them in with, you see, the possibilities are endless. Lots of fun. So let's brainstorm about Arnold, yes. Or somebody else. Would somebody else like to come up and jot down what we know about Arnold? Yeah? Okay. And there we go. Look at that.
I don't have that one.
No, we don't have that.
Gravity affects everybody. No getting around it.
That's so cool.
But look at, can you imagine? All right. So what do we know about Arnold? We're going to prepare to roast Arnold. What do we know about Arnold?
Mr. Universe.
Huh?
He was Mr. Universe.
Yes, he was really into weights. He was born in Austria. How about Simone? Oh, there's so much.
Has a heavy accent.
Yes.
He has a gap between his teeth.
He what?
He has a gap.
Oh, he does. He does. You know? Yes, he does. He has a unique smile.
Cigar smoker.
Oh.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay, smokes cigars.
His buddy, Franco Colombo, and him were always the bodybuilders, but they came from the old country just before the earthquake in '71. And they went around and Arnold told people that they would do European bricklaying. But he used that as an example that if you put the right label on something, people will hire you.
Oh.
But there is no such thing as...
Let's see.
Okay.
Clever businessman, how about that?
He had friends of influence.
Yeah.
Right, Colombo, did you say?
Well, no, Franco Colombo
Oh.
was, okay, Arnold was always Mr. Heavyweight Universe, and the other guy was, Franco Colombo. But Arnold also screwed his friend. He'd say to Franco, you know, if you really try, you have a good chance next year.
Okay. Now, see, that's real life material that you could use.
He's a staunch Republican married into the Democratic family.
Yes. Yes. He was a politician, governor of California.
Womanizer.
And then the first thing that came to me is
He was a womanizer.
Okay, we're going to get to that. Put that down.
I'm writing as fast
He's a movie star.
Yeah, we can
So,
put
of
that
course.
Well,
Okay.
he did a lot of movies.
He's a celebrity.
He championed healthy lifestyles, right? He worked with youth. He was a champion for healthy eating, healthy exercise.
He should have championed
Yes, yeah, I
condoms.
remember that. Pardon me?
He should have championed condoms.
Yeah.
That's lifestyle.
Good.
There's going to be a third picture of him, because he's going to be playing Conan again.
Oh, I get out.
Really is.
Yes.
No, it won't be like that. He knows how to bring his body back as a geezer. You'll see him.
Wow.
I mean, he's going to play.
That'll be something.
Yeah.
Now, what I did, as well as all this stuff we know, I did a search. What are Arnold's interests? Golfing. He's into gardening. You get ready for this. He does his own car repairs. He likes tinkering with the engines. Isn't that interesting? Okay, we have a lot of information. This is some of the cautions that we want to look at before we start pulling together our roast of Arnold. Be aware of the roastie's feelings. Does the roastie have a sense of humor? I think Arnold has a great sense of humor about most stuff. You want to make sure in a roast, especially in a Toastmasters environment, you steer away from blue material. I have a personal story on that. When I was first, and I've been Toastmasters over 25 years, and I joined, I was wild, woolly, flirty, absolutely perfect. And it was a known fact. I was engaged though, and when I joined Toastmasters, I had met the man, I was already with the man that was going on. So I was somewhat tame. But I was very flirty. That is reputation. So I'm outgoing president. And this woman who's roasting me present this cake the shape of men's jewels.
Oh my God.
I loved it. I thought it was great. Couldn't wait to take it home and show Bruce. But the club members did a very good job.
Moving right along.
I know. Now that I think about it, and I really got to hand it to her. That took a lot of guts. And she was at the right comfortable delivering it. I wouldn't have done it. That was, I mean, it was wonderful for me, but you got to also consider the audience that is going to be witnessing all of this. So you want to try to stay away from ridicule. Stuff the roastee might not want you to poke fun at. For me, you don't poke fun at the way I do. I can poke fun at it. I can say I sound German. That's it. It's an area that's sensitive. So a roastee really should take some responsibility and say, I don't mind you roasting me, but I don't touch on this or that. So for Arnold, what do you suppose are some of the things he would not like you to be on national television, Dean Martin comedy roast about?
Adultery.
Yes.
Women in condoms.
Steroids in his box.
Is what?
I'm sorry.
She learns so quickly.
I don't think you'd appreciate being poked fun at his failure as a governor. The state in California, I don't know if it was his fault or not, but we didn't get better when he was governor. I'm not sure you would appreciate being poked at about that. The infidelity that he's fathered many kids, God knows how many kids out there look like Arnold.
Now that he's divorced, he may not appreciate being associated with the Kennedy family anymore either.
Also Nazi jokes about his father.
Oh, Nazi, I didn't know, but
Yeah, but I mean, Arnold, distanced himself, but you can't pick your father. But I mean, Nazi jokes, you wouldn't.
Now see, that's something Don Rickles would do. I could see Don Rickles do. In Toastmasters, there's stuff you know to stay away from. If you're not sure, ask. So we know what Arnold, we have all these interests. Some of the stuff we're not going to do, right? We're not going to do. We're not going to do. So here is some examples before I give you an opportunity to practice this yourself. He's a weightlifter. Jokes about weightlifting. I got a list of like 30 things. They weren't that great, but I carved out 7. Your wife or girlfriend has more body hair than you do. Now, you could take this. You could say, you could use this in so many ways. Arnold realized he was a weightlifter when, or his friends realized Arnold was it. You just take the basics, okay? So I just said 7 ways, look Arnold, face it. Now 7 ways you know this. You've gone over the hill, being a weightlifter. You have more bikinis than your wife or girlfriend. You start lifting early in the U.S. See, all these things. Now you could do a top 10 list. You could take just one of these and spin it into a You see? Your mortgage supplement bill is more than your monthly mortgage. What I got from reviewing the jokes, some of them I didn't get because I'm not a weightlifter, but man, they do supplements. There are a lot of jokes about supplements. You have face wrinkles from intense grunting and straining that normal people don't have. You drink more water than a camel in the middle of a drive. This I love. There's this joke that this salesman was selling Coke. The Coke salesman, he was going to go to Israel to sell Coke. He didn't know how to speak Hebrew, so he created posters. In the desert, all dehydrated and fainted. You have a can of Coke, and you're up and running again. Well, he didn't realize, he forgot they read backwards. So you're running, So how could you twist that for Arnold? He championed healthy drinking, he traveled the world, and he was very successful in the campaign, except when he went to Israel. Because he, how you could do that? True? I mean, it's a lie based on a creative approach to it. Image editing, JibJab, are you all familiar with JibJab? JibJab.com is a place you want to go and play. You create threads of family and friends that are roasting, stick them in these videos, and go to town. I love this one. I found my map at eharmony.com. All right, nothing else. This is something I won't do because we don't have time. Oh, I do have time. I think it's fine. This is a slide from my hearing loss program. And I was explaining, I'm sharing this with you so how you can use the elements of a rose to make your own presentation better, funnier. So I explained I often don't hear exactly what somebody says, so I look at them, try to figure out what they might be saying and say yes, and hope for the best. So I could be saying, yes, I was, but in this talk, I'm saying, for example, I'm with Arnold, and he says, I think I'm getting fat. And I'm not sure what he says. I turn around and look at him, and I see he has a hat on. So I thought he said, I think I need a new hat, and I go, yes. If I was roasting him, I could say I used to be an extra on a film, and I got to work with him, and he came in and made his comment. And do you know what he did after I said he was fat? He went out and got dehydrated like this. You're getting it. Audio, okay. I'm going to say this for laugh because this is just a skill. But let's practice. What did we learn about roast? We know about that they're not based on truth, kernels of truth, greatly exaggerated, even lies. But always end with a compliment. I could rip Arnold to shreds, but I would end with, but Arnold, you are one of the most amazing human beings I personally have ever witnessed in my life. From good to absolute fame, and you even married into one of the most powerful political parties in the world. I see you. Why do roast? It's an honor. And it's a way for you to practice storytelling, joke telling, and information gathering. We learned about who shouldn't be roasted, the ones who don't want to be, people who don't have a sense of humor. Preparing for the roast? Got it. Do a brainstorm with your club or your group to find out all these little bits of information about the roastee, and then you go information gathering and find your jokes and your story. You know what to watch out for. If you're not sure, if it's where you can go with the roastee, ask. Or ask them if there anywhere, any topics you don't want to leave alone. And then you've got some creative approaches to roast. You've got all you need to honor whoever's the lucky roastee that you're going to roast with great pizzazz and great fun. Any questions, comments? Great, you were wonderful.